Hey guys, welcome back to another video. So what I have behind me is the Samsung OLED G8. I've had this monitor for 2 weeks now, so I'm ready to give you guys my thoughts. Alright, again, so what I have behind me is a Samsung OLED G8. So this is a 34-inch 3440x1440 monitor with an aspect ratio of 20:9, aka ultra-wide. So I've been waiting for this monitor since about September. I've been putting off buying any monitors out there. So I want to see if this is honestly worth the price, or if we should hold out to see if there's better monitors coming out later this year. So the design of this monitor is actually pretty cool. So it's all silver with a modern stand, way better stand than any other monitors I've used. It's sleek, it's compact, and it also has RGB in the back. So as far as ports, this has a mini display port, USB-C with power draw so you can hook up your laptop. It has a micro HDMI. It's HDMI 2.1, so if you're a console player, you can definitely connect your console here, and we'll talk about that soon. As far as coating, this has gloss coating, not like those really ugly matte coatings that other monitors has. If you've ever seen the Alienware QD OLED, it basically has the same coating as that, I believe. It's not like the LG C2 where it's super glossy, but to be honest with you, this is probably one of the best coatings in monitors that I've ever seen. As far as controls with this monitor, this actually came with a remote, and you also have a joystick in the back. So with this given remote right here, you are able to access Disney+, Amazon Prime Video, and Netflix. And one other cool thing is they do have Samsung TV Plus, so I'll talk about that a little bit later. If you hold down the play button for about 5 seconds, this brings up game mode. So with game mode, you can access your crosshair. If you want to put crosshairs, you can also do the black equalizer if you're wanting to just boost the darkness so you can see a little bit better. And this is where you can control all kinds of settings. Like if you want to change the picture profile from like standard to FPS to RPG, this is where you can do it. You can also adjust the brightness on here. So pretty cool idea, giving us a remote. Probably the best thing that's ever happened to a monitor instead of like fiddling with the joystick in the back. So for me, honestly, once I set it, I basically set and forget. So basically now this remote, I just use it to switch around inputs since I use this monitor for both gaming and working. So it's really convenient for me to just switch around inputs so I don't have to fiddle with touching the monitor and trying to find the input button. So this monitor is an OLED monitor, but this is not like your any other OLED monitor. This monitor actually has the newest technology, which is basically the QD OLED. So what's cool about the QD OLED, it gets way brighter than your traditional OLED. And not only that, this monitor is FreeSync and G-Sync compatible. So what that means is if you're really pushing those hard demanding games and your FPS drops below, you're always going to have a perfect picture before they display it out to your monitor. So that eliminates all those ugly screen tearings for a really cool and smooth gameplay. As far as color space, this covers 99.3 DCI-P3. It has HDR10+, and HDR 400 True Black. So what that means, if you're a content creator, this will have a pretty color accurate screen. And if you're consuming media or playing games, this will have a very beautiful HDR image. As far as refresh rate, this has 175 Hz. It has 0.03 gray to gray response times. So what that means, with a high refresh rate and low response times, you're gonna get a really crisp and smooth image without motion blur. When looking at the Blur Buster ghosting motion test, you can see that this monitor has no motion blur or ghosting. That makes this panel really good for fast-paced competitive FPS games. So before I talk about gaming performance, I want to talk about the smart features of this monitor. So this monitor actually has a trick. It's actually more like a TV before a monitor. Yes, it has HDMI 2.1 to be able to connect to your consoles. You can connect your soundbar, but this monitor actually has speakers. So let's go ahead and do a speaker test. With that, I think the speakers is good enough. It's not like having a soundbar or anything, but if you're just watching normal content and just binging YouTube videos, these speakers are definitely good enough. So I know I said this monitor has HDMI 2.1 and you can definitely connect your console and get a high refresh rate. However, this also has a trick. So this monitor comes with Samsung Game Hub. So that's actually really cool because now you don't even have to connect your Xbox. You can just stream your games using Xbox Game Pass. And if you have GeForce Now, you could definitely launch a GeForce Now and stream all your games there. And it also supports Amazon Luna. As far as other features, you can actually AirPlay your laptop in here. So if you have an Apple device, you can actually just extend your device using AirPlay. And if you have a Windows laptop, you can just click on your bottom right and connect this to a display. So last thing this monitor has, it has Samsung TV Plus. So if you're not familiar with Samsung TV Plus, this feature lets you watch live TV and stream some movies without any additional cost. However, if you're already a Netflix subscriber, Disney Plus, Hulu, you name it, whatever app you can think of, YouTube, you could also use those. You can also download those apps and use those apps on this monitor. I honestly didn't think I was going to use those features, but when my PC is off and I just want to chill down here, I just turn on YouTube or Disney Plus or Netflix and definitely just watch TV, and it's honestly a pretty good experience. So now, what you're here for, honestly, is gaming. So let's talk about gaming. Let me tell you off the bat, it's great. I have my LG 240Hz monitor as my main monitor, but let's be real here. If you're just looking for the most immersive experience and you're not really a try-hard FPS gamer, this monitor kills that monitor. Since this monitor is 21.9, it is so immersive, and since the colors are so vibrant, it's so nice playing video games in this monitor. The input lag of this monitor is very good, and with 175Hz refresh rate, I believe this monitor is good enough to compete in FPS games in a very high level. So I've been bouncing back playing with my LG monitor that's 240Hz, and this monitor 175Hz, and to be honest with you, my gaming performance does not change. I think it's because this monitor is OLED with the fast gray-to-gray response times. It's still very smooth, and you won't be able to tell much of a difference between 175 and 240Hz. When playing SDR games with this monitor, it's still a really good experience because this monitor is so bright. So when playing those games, it's still very bright and very vibrant. But where I think this monitor shines is playing games in HDR. So I use this monitor basically all in HDR, even if my main game is Valorant. So when I launch Valorant, I actually play this game in HDR. And there's actually a difference with SDR and HDR in Valorant. So if you have not tried HDR in Valorant, I would definitely advise it to you. Only if you have a monitor that doesn't add input lag. So since this monitor is OLED, it doesn't have local dimming, it doesn't have extra processing, the pixels just dims on itself when it's producing dark images, so therefore it does not add input lag. So if I were you, if you had one of these LG monitors or Samsung OLED monitors or the Dell monitor, definitely play Valorant in HDR, and that would be a really good experience. Alright, so I know I talked about a lot of pros about this monitor, so let's talk about the drawbacks. So first, the huge power brick. I don't understand why this power brick is so huge. However, that's okay. We can deal with it. But second is the micro HDMI. It didn't come with a cable. Not a big deal. You can buy a $6 adapter on Amazon. I'll link it down here below. However, with that said, when connecting this monitor with that micro HDMI cable and my laptop in the dock, once in a while that screen turns black and it looks like it's refreshing itself. I'm not actually sure if it's because of the adapter or it's because of my dock can't handle a monitor with this much refresh rate. But honestly, I even tried it with 60Hz and it would still turn black once in a while. So again, like I said, I don't know if it's just the dock's fault or it's the adapter. Maybe I need to buy a micro HDMI 2.1 cable, but just know that if you are connecting this monitor in HDMI and you're trying to do productive stuff, the screen once in a while will turn black and it refreshes itself. The next con, it's not even the monitor's fault. This is just the aspect ratio. Again, this could be a pro, this could be a con. So, it's the monitor itself, the aspect ratio, 3440 times 1440, 21:9. A lot of games out there are still in 16:9, and a lot of YouTube videos are still created in 16:9. So what that means is if you're watching YouTube or you're playing a game that doesn't support ultra-wide, you're going to have ugly black bars on the side. But the cool thing is, since this is OLED, since those pixels are basically off, it's true black. It's not like having an ultra-wide IPS panel where it gets really distracting because those black bars honestly look gray and it looks really ugly. At least this one is pure black. So if you're watching YouTube content that's in dark scenes, you can't actually see those black bars because everything will just be pitch black. As far as gaming, if your main game supports 21:9 aspect ratio, this would not even be a con. This would be a total pro, because if playing games in 21:9 is a truly immersive experience. Unfortunately for me, the game I play does not support 16:9, so I have to deal with those black bars. Alright, so with that, let's actually talk about who this monitor is for, and if you should pay the $14.99 price tag. I honestly think if you want an all-in-one solution, like let's say you don't have a TV, and you just want a monitor that has TV features, spending the extra $200 from the Dell Alienware is honestly a good idea. If you're a casual gamer and you just want the best picture quality and the best colors, I truly believe this monitor is for you. If you mainly play games that are 16:9 ratio and super competitive high FPS games, I think there are better monitors out there for you. I still prefer my LG monitor, the 240Hz OLED, just because when I'm playing Valorant, I don't have those distracting black bars. And with playing Valorant in HDR, I honestly think the LG monitor absolutely kills. With no added input lag and the 240Hz refresh rate, I think the monitor is a better idea if you're mainly playing Valorant. Now to get back on topic. So, if you don't have a monitor yet and you truly need one, I still think this monitor is a really good idea, only if you can afford it, obviously. If you just want an OLED monitor, and if you can wait a little bit, and you just want an ultra-wide monitor, to be honest with you, I'm also excited for this monitor since they announced it in CES. I'm now going to wait for the Samsung OLED G9. That to me looks like an endgame monitor just because A, it's a bigger screen, and B, not only is it a bigger screen, it's OLED, and it's finally 240Hz. So, basically, take this monitor and just make it way better. And that's it for me, guys. If you like this video, do you think you could help me out by liking this video, subscribing, and leaving a comment down below, as it truly helps the YouTube algorithm to get this video discovered, and I'm trying to get to 1K subs by the end of this year. If you are still here till the end of this video, thank you again for watching. I truly appreciate you. Until next time, peace.